Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm so glad you're here with us today.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Thanks for joining us. If you're trying to improve your English speaking skills, you're in the right place. Today's topic is super powerful. It's called Listen More, Speak Better, Grow Faster.
Yes, this idea might surprise some learners. A lot of people think, I need to speak more to get better at English. But in reality, listening is the secret weapon.
That's right. The more you listen, the more you understand how real English sounds, the pronunciation, the rhythm, the natural expressions. And when you understand better, you start to speak more confidently and correctly.
Exactly. In today's episode, we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about why listening helps you speak better, the common mistakes learners make with listening, how to build smart listening habits, and we'll even share some real-life stories of people who improved just by listening more.
Plus, we'll give you practical tips you can start using today, things you can do even if you're busy or just learning at home.
So, if you're ready to grow faster in your English journey, stay with us till the end. It's going to be a powerful episode.
Let's get started.
So, Julia, let's jump into the big question. Why is listening so important if I want to speak better English?
That's a great question, Jason. Here's the truth: we learn to speak by listening first. It's the same way babies learn their first language. They listen for months before they ever say a word.
Exactly. Babies don't start by reading grammar books, right? They just listen. They hear their parents, songs, and everyday conversations, and little by little they begin to understand. Then they start speaking.
Right. And it's the same with English learners. If you listen a lot, you start to hear how words are really used, how sentences flow, how native speakers stress certain words. You begin to build a kind of English feeling in your brain.
Yes, that feeling is so important. It helps you speak more naturally, without always thinking about grammar rules.
Also, when you listen regularly, you improve your vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence structure almost without trying.
I totally agree. Let's give an example. Imagine someone is learning English and they hear this sentence often. I'm gonna grab some coffee. At first, they might not understand it, but after hearing it a few times, they realize, oh, that means I'm going to get some coffee.
Yes. And soon, without memorizing it, they can say it naturally. I'm gonna grab some coffee. That's the power of listening. It teaches you real-life English.
Another thing is pronunciation. A lot of learners speak English with good grammar, but with strong accents or unnatural rhythm, because they haven't listened enough.
That's so true. When you listen often, to native speakers, to podcasts, to YouTube videos, you begin to copy the way English sounds. You start to speak like the people you listen to.
Yes, and that's a good thing. You're training your brain and your mouth at the same time. Listening is like a secret teacher that's always helping you in the background.
I love that. A secret teacher. And one more thing, listening helps reduce fear. When you understand more, you feel more confident, and confidence leads to better speaking.
Exactly. So, to everyone listening right now, if you want to speak better, you need to listen more. It's not magic, it's smart practice.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Just keep listening. Your brain is learning even when you don't realize it.
All right, up next, we'll talk about some common mistakes learners make with listening and how to avoid them. Stay with us. All right, Julia. So we just talked about why listening is so important for speaking better. But many learners don't always get great results from listening. Let's talk about why that happens.
Yes, there are some common mistakes people make when it comes to listening. Let's go through them one by one. Mistake number 1 is Just listening passively?
Oh yeah, like putting on a podcast while doing the dishes or walking, but not really focusing.
Exactly. That kind of background listening isn't bad, but if you only do that, you're not really training your brain. You need active listening where you really focus, try to understand, maybe pause, repeat, or take notes.
That's a key point. Passive listening is like putting headphones on a plant and hoping it grows. You have to be engaged to grow.
Haha, I love that example. Okay, mistake number 2, choosing listening materials that are too difficult.
Yes! Some learners start with fast English movies or news channels, and they feel lost. Then they think, I'm not good at English, and they give up.
Right. But the truth is, they just chose the wrong level. You should pick materials that are just a little above your level, something you mostly understand, but with a few new words or phrases.
Exactly. That way, you feel challenged but not overwhelmed. It's like lifting weights. Don't start with 100 kilos on day 1.
So true. Mistake number 3, not repeating or reviewing. Many learners listen once and move on, but the best way to learn is to listen again and again.
Yes, repetition is powerful. The first time, you catch 50%. The second time, 70%. The third time, maybe 90%. Your brain needs to hear things more than once to make it stick.
That's why things like shadowing or repeating with subtitles can help so much, but many learners skip that part.
And finally, mistake number 4, thinking you need to understand every word. That's not true at all.
Yes, even native speakers don't catch every word in a fast conversation. You need to focus on the overall meaning, not every single word.
If you get the main idea, you're learning. Don't stop just because you don't know one word. Guess it from the context, or check it later.
So, quick recap. Don't just listen passively. Don't choose content that's too hard. Don't listen just once, repeat. Don't worry about understanding every word.
Well said, Julia. Avoiding these mistakes can make your listening practice way more effective.
Absolutely. And coming up next, we'll share how to listen more effectively with real tips you can use today. Stay tuned.
All right, now let's get to the practical part. How can learners listen more effectively? We don't want them to waste time, right?
Exactly. Let's share some smart techniques that can really help. First tip, focus when you listen. Don't just play the audio while scrolling on your phone.
Yes. Treat your listening time like a workout. When you focus fully, you understand more, remember more, and improve faster.
Totally. And that leads to the second tip, repeat what you hear. Repetition is powerful. Don't just listen once and move on.
Absolutely. Let's say you listen to a 2-minute podcast. Play it once, then listen again. Then try to repeat some of the sentences out loud. That's called shadowing.
Yes! Shadowing is one of my favorite techniques. You listen to a sentence and speak at the same time as the speaker. It helps you with pronunciation, fluency, and confidence.
And it feels a little awkward at first, but it really works. You begin to sound more natural, like the speaker you're copying.
Tip number 3, use subtitles or transcripts. When something is too fast, turn on English subtitles. Or even better, find a video or podcast with a full transcript.
Exactly. First, listen without subtitles if you can. Then listen again with subtitles or read the transcript. This helps you catch what you missed and learn new vocabulary.
Speaking of vocabulary, here's tip number 4, write down new words or phrases, just 2 or 3 per day.
Yes, don't try to learn 20 words in one sitting. If you hear the phrase, take a break, write it down. Then try using it in your own sentence later.
Right. That's how listening connects to speaking. You hear something, you understand it, you say it, and it becomes part of your English.
Here's another tip, listen to what you enjoy. If you like music, start with English songs. If you love food, Watch cooking videos in English.
That's such a great point. When you enjoy what you're listening to, it's easier to stay focused, and you'll want to come back to it again and again.
And you don't have to understand 100%. Just get the idea. Even 60 to 70% is fine. You'll improve with time.
Another trick: slow down the audio. On YouTube or podcast apps, you can play things at 0.75x speed. That gives your brain more time to process the words.
Yes, slow it down and then slowly increase the speed as your listening improves. It's like training: start easy, then level up.
So let's summarize these tips quickly. Focus fully when listening. Repeat or shadow what you hear. Use subtitles or transcripts to help. Write down and use 2 to 3 new words. Listen to topics you enjoy. Slow the audio if needed.
These are simple things, but they can make a big difference. Don't just listen, smart.
Exactly. Listening is not just hearing English, it's training your brain to speak better.
Well said. Coming up next, we'll explain how listening leads to real speaking results. Don't go anywhere. So far, we've talked a lot about listening, why it matters, and how to do it better. But now, let's connect it to speaking. How does listening actually help us speak better?
Great question, Jason. Here's the truth: listening is the input, and speaking is the output. You can't speak what you haven't heard.
That's so true. It's like trying to cook a meal without ingredients. No matter how good your kitchen is, if there's nothing to work with, you can't make anything.
Exactly. When you listen to English, you collect the sounds, the grammar, the rhythm, and the phrases. Your brain stores them. And when it's time to speak, boom, you start using what you've heard.
Right. I remember a student who always watched English cooking shows. After a while, she could say phrases like chop the onions or let it simmer without even thinking, just because she'd heard them so many times.
Yes, that's the natural learning process. First, you listen, then you understand, and finally, you use it in speaking.
Now let's talk about pronunciation. How does listening help with that?
Oh, listening is huge for pronunciation. When you hear native speakers often, you notice how they connect words, stress certain syllables, or even drop sounds.
Yes, like how "what are you doing" becomes "what you doing." It's hard to read that in a book, but easy to catch when you hear it.
Exactly. And when learners repeat what they hear, even short phrases, they start to sound more natural and confident.
Another thing is fluency. Many people think fluency is about speaking fast, but actually, fluency is about speaking smoothly and naturally.
Yes, and that smoothness comes from listening. If you listen to English daily, your brain starts to feel the flow of the language, and that helps your speech become more automatic.
And let's not forget, listening builds confidence. When you understand more, you feel ready to speak more.
Totally agree. You're not afraid of conversations because your brain has already heard similar phrases before.
So to sum it up, listening gives you the words, sounds, and grammar you need. It helps you copy natural pronunciation. It trains your brain to speak more fluently. And it builds confidence.
Exactly. So if you want to speak English better, faster, and more naturally, start by listening more. It really works.
Coming up next, we'll talk about some daily listening habits that you can start today to boost your progress. Stay with us. All right, Julia, now it's time for the fun part: real, simple daily habits that our listeners can follow to improve their English through listening.
Yes, these aren't difficult things. They're small habits you can add to your day even if you're busy. Let's start with habit number 1. Start your day with 5 minutes of English audio.
I love that. Right after waking up, play a short podcast or YouTube video in English maybe while brushing your teeth or making breakfast.
Exactly. This helps your brain get into English mode early and sets the tone for the day.
Habit number 2. Use dead time to listen. That means when you're walking, on the bus, or doing chores, just plug in your earphones and listen to something in English.
Yes, we all have small pockets of free time. Even 10 minutes here and there adds up to hours of listening every week.
And remember, even passive listening helps your ears get used to English sounds.
Habit number 3 is my favorite. Repeat one short clip every day. Choose a video or audio you like and play it multiple times. Listen, then shadow it, then speak it on your own.
Yes, one short dialogue, maybe 30 seconds long, can teach you pronunciation, grammar, and natural phrases. And it sticks in your memory better than trying to listen to something new every day.
Exactly. Okay, habit number 4, watch English content with subtitles but in English.
Right. English subtitles help you match what you hear with what you read. Over time, you'll rely less on the subtitles and understand more with your ears.
Yes, and you can pause and repeat anything you don't get. It's a super easy way to improve listening and reading at the same time.
Habit number 5. Keep a listening journal. Write down 2 to 3 things after each listening session, new words, phrases, or even just what the audio was about.
That's a great one. It only takes a few minutes, but it helps you reflect and remember what you learned.
Let's quickly list all 5 habits again. Start your day with 5 minutes of English audio. Use your dead time to listen. Repeat one short clip daily. Watch with English subtitles. Keep a listening journal.
These habits are simple, but if you do them every day, you'll see real improvement. Listening becomes part of your life, not just something you have to study.
And the more you listen, the more confident you'll feel when it's time to speak. It's all connected.
Exactly. So to all our listeners, pick just one habit today and start there. You don't have to do everything at once.
Great advice, Julia. Coming up next, we'll share real success stories of people who listened more and started speaking better. You won't want to miss this. All right, Julia, we've shared the tips and the habits. But now, let's talk about real people learners who improved their English just by listening more.
Yes, real stories always inspire. So here's one. I had a student named Amina from Morocco. She didn't feel confident speaking English, but instead of just studying grammar, she started listening to English podcasts every day for 15 minutes.
Wow, that's a small habit, but it can go a long way.
Exactly. After just 2 months, Amina said she started thinking in English, and her speaking became more natural. She even started answering customer calls in English at her job.
That's amazing. Just by listening more, she started speaking better, exactly what this episode is about.
Here's another one. A guy named Luis from Brazil told me he watched one episode of a cooking show in English every day with subtitles. After a few weeks, he started copying the phrases like, let it simmer or add a pinch of salt.
Ha ha ha. So he was improving his English and his cooking.
Yes, and he said the best part was he didn't even feel like he was studying. It was fun.
That's a great point. When you enjoy what you're listening to, your brain is more open and learning becomes natural.
Totally. And one more quick story. A teenager from India named Ravi told me he improved his pronunciation by listening to English songs and singing along every day.
Music is such a powerful tool. It teaches rhythm, pronunciation, and new words all in one.
So whether it's podcasts, shows, YouTube, or music, all of these learners used listening as their secret to growing faster.
And if they can do it, so can you. Listening isn't just a skill, it's your gateway to fluency.
Well said, Jason. And up next, let's wrap things up with a quick recap and motivation boost to help you get started today.
All right, friends, before we wrap up today's episode, let's give you 3 quick things you can do today to start improving your English through listening.
Yes, no excuses. These are short, simple, and super helpful. Tip number 1. Choose a 2-minute English video you like, maybe a short podcast clip, a YouTube video, or even a song.
Listen to it twice. First, just listen. Second time, try to repeat or shadow the speaker. Just copy how they say the words.
Tip number 2. Write down one new word or phrase you heard, just one. Then try to use it in your own sentence.
And tip number 3. Talk to yourself in English for 1 minute after listening. Describe what you heard. It doesn't have to be perfect, just speak.
These little habits take just 5 to 10 minutes, but if you do them every day, you'll grow faster than you think.
So try these tips today and remember, the more you listen, the better you speak.
Thanks for joining us, and keep listening, learning, and growing every day.
So friends, remember this, you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start listening more, a little every day.
Yes, every minute you listen in English is a step toward better speaking, more confidence, and real progress.
Be patient with yourself, keep going, and enjoy the journey. English is not just a language, it's a skill you build over time.
And we're here with you every step of the way. Keep listening, stay motivated, and don't stop growing.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep listening.
And always believe you can speak better, faster. See you soon.